All right, we've got two more to go and dive into. So let's just kind of wrap up with these two. Let's start with the Rocket Richard leading goal scorer. Do you have this one's interesting because I feel like this one actually is harder to predict, even though there are some names I'm like I kind of want to keep in mind, but I don't know. So I'll turn it over to you. Who leads the league in goals this season?
I'm going to say Austin Matthews because he's going to have to. Without Mitch Marner, he's going to have to make up the slack. He was hurt last year, and he's still, I think he was in the 30s, even hurt. So he's fully capable. So I think he's going to be the guy, but you never can count out David Pastrnak. I mean, if the Bruins are just slightly better, he's always scoring goals. And so he's always a threat to me to win this award, too.
My problem with both those picks, because I like Matthews particularly. I think like he's the one that I'm like, okay, he'll lead the league in goals, and he was close a few years ago, 60
Yep.
with 69. He was close to hitting 70. Would have been the first in a long time. There's two. I mean, the problem with both players is that just they're not getting the help. I mean, with the Maple Leafs, it's always well, Marner is distributing to Matthews, and now he doesn't have that. So that's one issue I have with
I don't think he needs it, though. I think that's the misnomer. I think people are going to find out he does not need that.
that's yeah, it's so interesting. Where is
I've
he
watched him.
getting?
I've watched him without Marner. Like I know maybe Leafs fans haven't. I've seen him operate without Mitch Marner. I think he'll be just fine. Honestly, no joke.
No, yeah, it's just that question is if you don't have that elite playmaker, can you get
Hmm.
that? It, can you get to that level in terms of points or goals? And that's the question with him. And similar with the Bruins, where they kind of did a tear down at the trade deadline last season. It's an interesting roster this season. So I don't where's that playmaker? Where's that person who's going to get you the puck? The other issue with Matthews, I mean, he did bounce back last season. He wasn't healthy and it wasn't from the beginning. So maybe this season you're kind of wondering if that's an underlying issue that becomes a long term one. It was an upper body shoulder thing, which you wonder if that's lingering, then that becomes a problem long term. But those are just two things that I'm just kind of keep in mind with Matthews. But
The one thing I'll say about Pasternak, did you think he'd score 43 goals on a terrible team? I didn't, and that's why I think he could score 50 or 55 at least this year. Maybe just needs a little bit of help. That's it.
yeah, I know. I just wonder where that help is coming from. That's the thing because I also there's a possibility, and this is like talking about the Bruins a bit, that they're not good this season again, and they're
Sure.
again tearing it down, and you wonder who they're going to trade or who they're going to who they're going to move around. And if that happens, that could happen again. And if that how does Pasternak keep that production going? He will. He'll still put up 40 goals. There's some players that you can always rely on for that. It's just you wonder. Yeah, I wonder about him if how it'll hold up, and against the rest of the field. I'll
Hmm.
throw one name out. I'll throw one name out there because just to say I think there's an easy narrative for him leading the league in goals, and then what happens because of that. And I think Kyle Connor is a name to monitor here because I think he's obviously one of the best goal scorers in the game, one of the most talented. He's also a free agent at the end of the year. And I always like when you have these players heading to free agency and they don't have that long term contract yet and they have to bet on themselves and it's a breakout year for them. And with Kyle Connor, you can see that happening. And the Jets, they lose Ehlers, so that's a tough one to replace. But otherwise, all the pieces are there for him to still be that great goal scorer and you could potentially pile up the goals there. And I
Depends on
think
the power play. He gets a lot of power play goals.
and that too, yeah, where it's really he gets a lot of those open looks and takes advantage of them. And I think that can really help him. He could hit the 50 mark or better. And I think you could see that happening with him. All right, you ready? I guess time for the big one. There's just one left. The Hart Trophy, and it's not officially called the MVP, but it just feels that way. Hart Trophy. It feels like it's wide open. Who do you got?
I'm again going Austin Matthews. I think he is going to play with his hair on fire. He is going to be desperate to show everybody that, hey, I know my buddy Mitch Marner's not there, but this is how good I am. So if you felt like I was relying on Mitch Marner, think again.
It's so interesting. A lot of people are really high on Mitch Marner because he left and maybe
Sure,
where
and he's got Eichel. Yeah.
yeah. So A lot of people are picking him for that reason. Austin Matthews, it's again like it's the same. It's the same. I feel like that's the story you're painting. That's the narrative you're drawing up, which is that he's going to carry the Maple Leafs and they're going to be great even with Marner not there, which it could happen. He's good enough to do that. And I think what's interesting is that if Matthew Nyes keeps progressing and maybe he's getting some time with Matthews, that helps him also. Or maybe they
It'll
make
be
some
Nyes
moves.
or it'll be Domi. It's going to be one of those guys
Yeah,
up there, but he just needs someone to feed him. If he's around the net, he's going to score. He's got amazing shot deception. He's a year off of having 69 goals and 107 points. Like, I know it's easy to pick McDavid or Draisaitl, but I just feel like if there's going to be a year where Matthews is desperately needed and going to have his best year, it could be this year.
yeah. I mean, I think he's got a lot. He's got a lot to prove. Also, the big thing to prove is that last season was an outlier, and last season was a fluke, and he is healthy, and that's a big thing
Right.
for him as well. And it's funny you kind of threw out McDavid there, and it's just like I just feel I know it's the chalk pick. I feel like you're looking for the story here. I think he's still going to win the award, and I think the, I mentioned the Rocket Richard Kyle Connor winning it because of a contract year. There's a chance McDavid wins it because of a contract year, and he doesn't have a long term deal at the time of we're recording this now. Probably happened, could have happened while we're recording because that's usually how these things work, where all of a sudden the news breaks. But still a free agent at the end of the season, and it's one of those situations where he can really bet on himself. And again, have that career year, have that big season, and I I see it benefiting all sides where the Oilers have a great season and McDavid has a career year where he scored 150 points in the past. He hasn't led the league in goals, but I feel like this could be a year where he does that. It just seems like I know it's an easy pick. I feel like if there's any year though to go with the chalk pick, I feel like especially this season with everything kind of building up, I feel like it's this year. I know I'm just kind of talking myself into that, but I just feel like if it's a narrative based award, like, he's got the narrative this season, which I think really helps his case.
I mean, you don't count out Connor McDavid. It'd be silly to.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's an easy pick, but it's just the one that I would want to pick. The other name, I mean, another name is like feels like an easy pick, but not to count it out would be Kale McCarr, or if he won the Norris and he won the Hart, or if he was that good defensively. But just to throw that out there, we Hellebuck won it last season as a goaltender, and I
Nathan
don't.
McKinnon too.
Yeah, McKinnon's going to
Yeah.
be out up there. Drysdale was up there last season. There's a lot of names I think that are going to be up there for this award, and it's gonna. I think it could be a close race, but I feel like also, I mean, even with Vegas, you have Marner and Eichel, where either Marner has a lot to prove or Jack
Yeah,
Eichel is
one of
one
them could easily be in the race.
of them could do it. Yeah, there's
Listen,
a lot.
also one more in a contract year, or at least so far it looks that way. Uh, Kirill Kaprizov
I
was
was about to
having an MVP season until he got hurt.
I was about to say that. I know I'm missing someone. I always like doing this where it's like who's in a contract year, and maybe it's just because a few years ago in a few. I mean, we see it all the time in sports where it's like players heading into a contract year, and all of a sudden they just have that career year. But yeah, Kaprizov was the other one that I was thinking about, and just slipped my mind. And yeah, he's one of them. It's interesting because Kyle Connor, Kirill Kaprizov, both are heading free agency. Another winger that's heading free agency, Artemi Panarin. So just a few of them that potentially just monitor because they might be dominating storylines this season, one way or another. All right. That's all we got. Russ, thanks for joining. It was a pleasure having you on, and probably won't be the last because it was fun having you here. Where can everyone find you? I know you're doing a ton of stuff, but anything you're working on these days, or uh, anything? Where can we find you, and any big
Yeah,
articles or stuff that you're working on?
yeah, I'm working on a few things for elite prospects. Keep an eye on that. Sportsology.com. Certainly, there'll be a couple more articles coming on that. I have a book out called Game Winners. That's out now. You can go to my Amazon account. I've written 11 books, so uh, buy any of those, and I'll be forever in your debt. But yeah, those are the main things. And off the post, that's on every Wednesday and Sunday.
Yeah, off the post is part of the Hockey Hot Stove. It's you, Anthony
Yeah,
Mingione, and Mike Agello. I actually got the names correct this
yes,
time instead of
you did.
mispronouncing them. And it's great stuff there. And it's also it was great great seeing Russ a few weeks ago in Allentown.
Hmm.
It's when I learned that one of the other beat writers for Philly is a Mets fan, which is fun. Too bad, but anyway,
There's a
enough of
few of
that.
us.
Uh, but anyway, that's all we got for now. We hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Also, check out all the great content at Hot Stove. You can find my stuff there, and check out all of Russ's great work. And make sure to buy one of his books. Check it out on Amazon, and check out all of Russ's great work. Check it out, and we hope you enjoyed. And tune in next time for another great episode. Thank you.